Good afternoon, Detective Inspector Dean Thomas from the Victoria Police Homicide Squad. Shortly before 10:30am this morning, emergency services were called to an apartment block here at High Street, Preston, in relation to a male having been shot in the car park of that apartment block. Police arrived and there were people rendering first aid to the male. The police assisted in providing first aid and CPR to the male. An ambulance arrived shortly thereafter, but unfortunately the male passed away from the gunshot injuries that he had received. So homicide squad detectives were called here, and we are now conducting the investigation in relation to this 32-year-old male's death. So I appeal to any people in the public, anybody that may have seen any suspicious activity in the vicinity of this apartment block here in High Street, Preston. We have a vehicle that was, we believe, involved in the shooting, being a white Porsche SUV. That vehicle left immediately after the shooting out through the car park north on High Street, Preston, and made its way to a location not far away here in Reservoir, where it was burnt, and the offenders left from that location. So again, if there's any people in the community, any people driving, any people that may have dash cam footage, people that were in the area that may have seen any of this suspicious activity, seen this vehicle, if they could please contact Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000 or contact their nearest police station.
So was he walked into his car, or was he shot in his car?
Well, we're still piecing it all together. It appears at this stage that the male was walking towards his car, and the offender has approached, and a number of shots were fired. No, the male was in company with a female, and that female was able to escape without any physical injury. That female is obviously extremely distraught and upset, and this is something that will live with her for a long time. She did her best to render first aid to the male, and obviously was then assisted by police and ambulance, but unfortunately passed away. Well, we're piecing that together, but we believe may have been the girlfriend of the male, but we're still working through that, because I hope you can appreciate she's extremely upset and distraught, and she's doing the best to speak to us and provide us with whatever information she can. A number of shots. I can't tell you how many, because we're still, we've got crime scene examiners that are present at the moment examining the scene. So it'll be some time before we know exactly how many, but I can say a number of shots were fired. We believe, whilst he has not been formally identified, we believe we do know the identity of the male, and he's a 32-year-old male from Thomastown.
Any idea what gun was used in this attack?
Again, very early, too early to say. We'll have our ballistics experts along with our crime scene examiners, and we'll await advice from them. But as I say, a number of shots were fired, and that crime scene is being examined as we speak. Well, look, at this stage, as I say, we believe we know who that male is. We are aware that there has been a number of incidents in the past where threats have been made to this particular male, and on each occasion safety warnings have been provided to him by Victoria Police, and so again that will form very much part of this investigation to assist us to identify who was involved in this, and who was involved in the shooting, and whether any other people were involved in it.
Is he staying at the hotel at the time?
No, we believe he was staying at the apartment block.
How long have you been staying there prior to this?
Well, we're still trying to piece that together. We believe it may have been as recent as yesterday. stayed at the apartment block, and again, we're working through that at the moment.
How worried are you right now about potential retaliation?
Look, there's always concern around retaliation. There will be a high visible police presence in the area, over the coming days. Of course, we're concerned about that, but we have nothing at this stage to suggest that there will be retaliation. But again, I ask anybody that's associated with our deceased person that they cooperate with police and they provide whatever information they can to us, and they work with us so that we can identify those responsible and hold them to account.
And that car that walked down High Street, is it true that it ended up in Melbourne High Street burnt out?
That's correct, yes. And again, that's a very strong assumption that that vehicle was involved. I'm reasonably confident that's the case, and we're working on the belief that it was involved, and obviously that would be subject to forensic testing and a whole range of examinations. But again, if anybody was in the area today at about 10:30 a.m, even last night, we've got to be conscious that the vehicle could have been here beforehand. If anybody was here and they saw that white Porsche SUV, that they share that information with Crime Stoppers or their nearest police station. We don't know how many we're looking for. Again, we're trying to piece that together now. We've got detectives out there speaking to people and reviewing what footage we have at this point, and to try and piece it together. But it's fair to say it's more than one. Again, look, I won't go into that detail, but we're looking at it. We're reviewing CCTV footage, and we're trying to piece together what's occurred. Of course, we'll be looking at that. As you know, that's been in place now for quite some time. We will be looking at everything here in this, in our deceased male's history, who he's associated with, his businesses, what he's involved in. We'll be looking at all of that to try and understand who was involved, and obviously the motive behind this.
And what about the lead up to this event? You mentioned the police being protecting the victim, have there been any other close calls in the lead up, not that August obviously, but recently, have there been any sign that this is about to happen?
Not that we are aware of. Each time that Victoria Police has been made aware of any threats, any live threats to this particular male, safety messaging has been provided to him with a number of options provided, and I won't go into those options because they're operational matters, but it's fair to say that whenever we've been aware of direct threats, we have entered into discussions with our deceased person and let him know and discussed options that are available to him. But there is nothing to suggest right at this point, and I say it's early in the investigation, that there was any any information that we had right now.
Do you know where he was staying prior to this?
Again, I won't go into that. That's a matter that we'll look at ourselves, and that will form part of our investigation. And we're obviously very keen to know where he stayed before here, and that would be part of our investigation.
You know, whether there's a second car that was involved that wasn't pushed in the States?
Of course, and again, we're looking at. That's why we appeal to everybody out there in the public that may have seen something. When this white Porsche was dumped in Northern Hay Street in Reservoir and set alight, anybody that may have seen any suspicious activity, any other vehicles that didn't sort of fit the area, or whatever they may have seen, please, if you've seen something, share it with us. Even if you think it's a trivial matter or it may not be part of this incident, I ask you please share it with us, because it may be that little piece that we need. Yes, we have. Obviously they're extremely distraught. Family and friends are very, very distraught, and understandably so. They've lost a loved one. They've lost a son, a friend, and of course, we'll be doing everything we can to investigate this and identify those responsible.
Reports today that the victim has been identified as Sam Abdulrahim.
Yeah, again, we haven't had him formally identified, but we do believe it to be that individual. Yeah.
And will you have the police officers monitoring Melbourne Airport potentially for flight risks to anyone leaving Victoria today?
Again, I won't go into what we do operationally, but rest assured that our mind is open to all possibilities, and we'll be doing everything we can to identify those responsible for this shooting.
The fact that there have been multiple incidents involving this man.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
The fact that there's been multiple incidents involving this man, are you concerned that this will just be a matter of time, having to constantly be warnings about what is happening?
Well, look, you know, I think common sense prevails here that perhaps that's the case. But again, we had nothing at this stage to suggest there was a live threat that was imminent. Because if we did, then we would have done what we could to share that information with him. But also, we need to be conscious that we believe he's aware that his life has been at risk and may still have been at risk. And of course, he was provided with options and and they're matters that we won't share.
Is this recorded back last week?
I believe it to be there, yes.
And if the car still in front of us?
Yes, because that'll be subject of forensic testing and examination. So we have a secondary crime scene in that too.
How do we think the offenders knew he was staying at the West End, even if it was only for the past 44, 48 days?
Well, that's what we'd like to know. That's obviously key to what's occurred here. Like, who has known? How has that information been shared? We need to get to the bottom of that, and that forms part of what we're looking at.
This happened in the underground car park, but we've seen in recent months gangland shootings happen in public streets where families live. What would be the message to people who may be a little bit on edge for a retaliation attack that could take place in a public space?
Look, as I've said, we're always concerned about retaliation, but there is nothing to suggest, we don't have any information at this stage to suggest that will occur. People that are associated with the deceased, as I've said, family, friends, associates, I ask that they work with us to assist us identify those responsible so that they can be held to account. We know retaliation doesn't really lead to anything other than tit for tat, backwards and forwards, and we don't want that to occur. There will be a high visible police presence in the area, and but again, as I say, we have nothing at this stage to suggest that will occur.
Looking back to the past, is your theory of the Porsche was that car used to do the shooting and then it was ranged later on, or do you think that there could have been another car and then it got into the
Again, it's too early to say, other than at this stage we believe that the Porsche SUV was involved in the shooting, and then it's left here in the northern direction, as you know, into Northern Hay Street, where it's been found burnt out.
Is the woman who was with his girlfriend, is she cooperating with investigators?
Oh, look, she's doing the very best she can. Like, you've got to appreciate, she's been through a very traumatic situation, seeing her boyfriend shot and killed. She has rendered assistance to him and provided what first aid she could. So very, very traumatic situation. She's very, very upset. So our investigators are speaking to her, and she's doing what she can at this stage to assist us as best she can in very trying circumstances.
Is there a marked escalation in gangland activity here in Victoria?
Of course, Victoria Police is concerned every time there is a death like this, there is a shooting incident like this. We'll work. This investigation has the full weight of Victoria Police behind it. Our detectives from the homicide squad with specialist units will work on this, and we'll leave no stone unturned until we identify those responsible.
Are you in a position to talk about what kind of injuries victims sustained? How many punctures or like the nature of them?
No, look, I'm not in a position to say at this stage, other than gunshot wounds. Obviously, it's very, very early at this stage, and I'm not in a position to share anything further in relation to the number of injuries and the location of those injuries.
How did you might not be able to answer this, but gun them get into the car park and get out of the car park?
Again, it's subject of this investigation, and that's what we're trying to piece together, how it's occurred, and that will take us a fair bit of our effort to identify that. The message I have for them is obviously hand yourself in, because we will work out who it is, and we will hold those responsible, and whether that's tomorrow or in the coming days, it will happen. And but again, it may take some time, but we will work tirelessly and with the full weight of Victoria Police behind us until we are able to solve this investigation. We're certainly speaking to Luna detectives, and we will speak to them moving forward. But we'll speak to a number of detectives and police from a range of different areas to assist us to identify what's gone on and piece it all together.
Can I just ask, do you know why there just appears to be bullet casings that were found just at this intersection behind us here? Can you just explain how that was going to be?
We're trying to piece together the movements of what has occurred, pre the shooting and after the shooting, and we are aware of some casings being found. Again, that will be part of our examination. As you can see, we've had our major crime scene people, our crime scene examiners examining. All of those items will be seized and subject to forensic testing, and that will assist us piece together what's occurred. No, it was a staff member from the hotel, from the apartment block is called police, is 1000. No, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.